The dust has settled and the last cosplayer has gone home. This is my Fan Expo Canada 2025 report. Hi, I'm Alex, and yes, I survived Fan Expo Canada 2025. Here's how it all went down. Thursday is often considered the warm-up day, but there were still plenty of fans and a ton of cosplayers. And the excitement was already building. The first highlight for me was attending Intro to Star Wars, the High Republic panel. What I didn't realize going in was just how massive this publishing initiative really is. The High Republic spans 3 distinct phases, each with multiple books. The stories are written across 3 age groups: adult novels, young adult, and middle grade. On top of that, the storytelling continues through comics as well. We're talking 22 novels and over 100 comic books, spanning Dark Horse and Marvel. And to top it off, a couple of audiobooks. So if you're planning to dive into the High Republic, here's my advice. Do your research and get the proper order from the internet. The timeline is ambitious and not always obvious. If things are not read in the right order, there will be spoilers. This is officially on my bucket list. For Friday, I had my eye on the Star Wars The Untold Stories panel, but real life stepped in and I couldn't make it. I started with picking up my 8x10s and autograph tickets for Saturday. My next goal was find Timothy Zahn's booth. Of course, I started at the wrong end and he was right next to the pizza stand. With the mission accomplished, I picked up one of his books. He signs every copy, he's very nice and does not mind chit-chatting. Later, I attended Spotlight on Star Wars author Timothy Zahn panel. You know what? It was even better than I expected. It was interesting to see how a creative writer like him thinks. He's a prolific writer with over 70 books to his credit, 16 of which were Star Wars. I won't spoil his stories, things like how Thrawn got his name or where Mara Jade came from. But if you ever get the chance to hear him speak at a con, take it. And while I didn't snap a photo, I spotted the best costume of the weekend. Someone dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi wearing a clear blue poncho. It was simple, clever, and absolutely nailed the look of the Force Ghost Obi-Wan. Saturday, autograph day. Saturday was all about autographs. Ewan McGregor, John Boyega, and Daphne Keane were the names on my list. Somehow we ended up in the 10 a.m. group for Ewan McGregor, which is way too early. Not cool. Ewan's signing wasn't on the main autograph floor like most celebrities. Instead, he was hidden away in the basement of the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. We had to line up just to ride the escalator down to his level. Once below, we were brought into a room and split into 2 groups, autographs and photo ops, and arranged into rows. While we waited, I spotted an awesome Mandalorian cosplayer and also met Dave. Why is Dave important? Because while my wife was checking my YouTube stats, she saw I was sitting at 199 subscribers. Dave pulled out his phone, hit subscribe, and instantly became my 200th subscriber. Thanks, Dave. Eventually, our row was brought into the hallway that led to the room with Ewan McGregor. The effort to prevent unauthorized photos was serious, everything curtained off, with lots of twists and turns. Once inside, there was a whole system in place. One person would take your ticket and item, another would ask what color ink you would want, and pass it on to the person that would hand it to Ewan McGregor to sign. That's when my wife seized the moment and handed him my Star Wars Relics business card. The handler next to him looked absolutely horrified, swooping in to snatch it away. I wish I had a picture. It was absolutely priceless. I did manage to ask my question to Ewan McGregor. What was your first Star Wars movie? He smiled and said, I was born in 1971, A New Hope. Ewan was on his feet the whole time. He was into it and had a big smile. He came across as really friendly, and I don't know how he does it, but the man has stopped aging. This is the piece I had signed. They had plenty of options for sale, but I chose this one. A still from the movie. Every time I look at it, I can hear John Williams and the choir during what I consider the best part of their duel. I really like the blue ink, and I especially appreciate the inscription. When I've got my wingman, everything just goes better, and my wingman is my wife. Thanks to her, I've had interactions, selfies, videos, and even one autograph that I wouldn't have gotten without her. And on this day, she really stepped up. While I was waiting for the ink to dry, she spotted a couple carrying this massive painting, and Kelly had to get a picture. And wouldn't you know it, that photo just happened to be at the perfect angle, with Ewan McGregor in the background. Too bad he wasn't looking up at the time. From there, we headed over to Daphne Keane. She really took her time with everyone, chatting and making the experience personal. I even managed to sneak a quick picture. This is the photo I chose for her to sign. She did an awesome job with it, even added a personalization, which made it extra special. Fortunately, Daphne was set up right next to John Boyega, so I headed there next. He was incredibly friendly, joking around and making the whole experience fun. I picked this photo to have signed with the hope that one day Daisy Ridley will make it to Canada. Plus, it came with BB-8 as a bonus. The woman ahead of me had hers signed in white ink, and I really liked the look, so I went with it too. He personalized it and inscribed it. Saturday, we absolutely had peak crazy. Wall-to-wall people everywhere. I really wanted to attend the Ewan McGregor panel, but it was still over 4 hours away. This is where that 10 a.m. start time really came to bite me. I did not go. Boo. First thing on the agenda Sunday was The Rebellion Continues, a chat with John Boyega. It turned out to be a really interesting panel, and surprisingly, it wasn't all about Star Wars. I learned that John is a dual citizen of the UK and Nigeria, which was news to me. He also talked about his film Attack the Block, something I definitely need to check out, since the way the crowd reacted, you'd think it was a pretty big deal. He announced that they were working on a sequel. Everybody was thrilled. Of course, he shared his thoughts on a number of Star Wars topics too, and mentioned that the trilogy he grew up with was the prequel trilogy. The only downside was that the audience didn't get a chance to ask questions, which was a bit disappointing. Definitely worth the time though. I spent the rest of the last day in the South Building checking out Artist Alley and the Corporate Zone. They were running a free photo op for Star Wars and Marvel fans, and of course, I went with the Star Wars. Over at the Paramount booth, they had a goat mascot that the entire expo was lining up to get their picture taken with. When 3 Imperials stepped up for theirs, I got mine. I saw tons of great costumes throughout the day. Artist Alley was packed with amazing work and plenty of tempting merch. I ended up grabbing a sweet Spider-Man t-shirt. There were lots of other designs that made it tough to choose. I regret not picking up the Superman shirt. And that wraps up my Fan Expo Canada 2025. There was so much to see and do as a Star Wars fan. What did I learn? Invest in a VIP pass. Don't expect to do everything in one day. And remember, cash is still king. If there are other conventions coming up that matter to the Star Wars fan, I'll do my best to be there. I'm still negotiating with my wife on how far she's willing to travel. Until then, that's it for Star Wars Relics Autographs. Take care.